Welcome to another edition of the Referee's Corner right here on Islandstats.com. I'm your host, Earl Baston, and joining me today is Shaun Simons, just back from Jamaica. Obviously a whirlwind trip, but one I think you will take a lot of information back from and use it wisely. But talk us through the adventure.
Well, on the 6th I got to Jamaica and I went straight to the JFF. I met a couple of people there from the Referee Association and the JFF as well. I met the General Secretary and the Secretary, that's the admin assistant or whatever, that's out there. I was talking to them for a while. It was another referee that I met down there. She actually is in school down there, so she's from Barbuda, so I was talking to her for a little bit. And then on Wednesday, I went to the Tivoli and Harborview game that got abandoned because of the fans were throwing bottles and stuff like that. And then after a while, they couldn't control them, so they said that was it. Then on Thursday, I had my game on the Gardens versus Humble Lions. Very, very fast-paced game. It was at Honor Garden, so you know what the crowd was like there. So that was actually an experience within itself. The crowd, it was like way bigger than our football games here. It was like probably 300, 400 people minimum. So it was fun, you know, for me because I was laughing at the stuff they were saying. You know what I mean? Then we had training on the Saturday morning from about 7:30 because we had a little problems getting into the field, but from 7:30, that was a step above what I've been training and what I've been doing. But that was actually fun too. It wasn't just all work. It was still, you know, interactive. You know what I mean? Then we had a technical session after the fitness part. And that was pretty good. We did like some video analysis and stuff like that. Flash dance, which is where you show a clip and then you show yellow or red card or no card. Then on Sunday I had the game with Tivoli and Cavaliers.
Well, let me ask you this question. The abandoned match, did that kind of put your guard up because you were going to be doing a match the next day, and when you get to this like rowdy games of sort, and you being new into Jamaica and going into something for the first time, did you kind of put your guard up a bit?
Not really. For me, it was like seeing what it could get like, but I knew that if the refereeing team had a good game, or what they say will be a good game, because no fan says it's a good game if the team loses, right? But if the refereeing team didn't influence the game, I knew that it shouldn't get like that in our game.
Right.
So, from a lot of the stuff that the people were saying, like the referees were saying down there, it doesn't always get like that, and probably that's the first abandoned match in a good bit of years. So, I just felt that it was just something I can expect, if it does get to that point.
Now, leading into your match, obviously you've got a whole day to go over things with yourself, be mentally prepared, because obviously you've done all the physical work. But what are some of the things you were doing on the Thursday? I want to say Thursday, in preparation for the Thursday night match.
Well, it actually started on Wednesday. I went to the gym on Wednesday and did some moderate intensity, more match preparation type of thing. So it's more a little bit of fitness, some core, some strength exercises, more so upper body. And then on Thursday I just relaxed. I had breakfast, relaxed, had lunch, and then just before like maybe 3 hours for my game, I went to the laws and was reading some things that could come up, and then I went to the game and performed.
Now, you've probably seen one or two of the officials before in Jamaica, but getting to know the officiating crew for you was something different because they would know each other, but you being somebody outside kind of thing. How did they accept you into the field?
They accept me with open arms. My first game, I knew the two officials that were with me, Odette and Oinko, because Oinko went to the boys tournament in the summer with me, and Odette, we was at the girls tournament together. So I knew those two. The other person I knew is O'Shane, but he was on official duty, so he wasn't there. My second game, it was Oinko and Cardala. She's on the FIFA list, so she just welcomed me as another person that's on the list, So it was no real like, okay, it's a new person, let's like be standoffish. Everybody was like, hi, where you're from, that type of thing.
What about the reception you was getting from the players? Because obviously they're seeing a new face for the first time.
Well, the players they didn't really say anything. They just said what's up and shook hands, and they kept going about their business. It's more so the fans. And one of the coaches was a little like, oh, how we always have foreigners out here, but after they explained like, this is what Bermuda's trying to do and stuff like that. The coach was like, yeah, okay, cool,
Yeah.
Nothing serious.
Now, much like Bermuda, because I saw some pictures, and there are the JDF inside the grounds, right by the field. That's a little different because when the Bermuda Police Service show up at games, they're on the outskirts.
Yeah.
Was that a new thing for you?
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Like when I went to the game on Wednesday, and it was the two police officers at the gate. And the gate's not like a regular gate that we have here. It's like a metal sheet, like you can't see in nothing. So you have to knock on the gate to try to come in type of thing. Luckily the gate was already open, so they saw us. And I'm looking at these two guys like, yo, like this guy's got guns. Like, so I mean, we explained who I was and they let me in. But then I went inside and it was a gate in between where they have the VIP area at Harborview, and then it was a police officer on the other side for gun, and I'm like, yo, like what's going on here?
Where'd I come to?
Yeah, but I mean, I guess that's their equivalent of security, and obviously out there it gets a little worse than her, so they have to have those precautions in place. But I was like, wow, it's that serious.
Now, obviously you've been through this experience now. What are some of the things you take from it?
You can't settle. So for me, this, like, especially the first game, it was definitely a step above Bermuda. So now to work to go to a step above that. You know what I mean? So you can't settle on what you're doing now and whatever you've been doing. So for me, it's just, okay, keep going. What's next? And hopefully I can perform whatever comes next, isn't it?
Now, you talk about that training session. It's one of the longest ones you've ever done in your life, I would imagine. But the drills, you said you done a lot of technical stuff as well and kept you engaged. What are some of the things that you done there that you could bring back and kind of help implement here for officials to go through fitness tests and just collectively together?
Well, most of the fitness, it was like a part of the warm-up, which, because it really was match preparation, because most of the referees had games the next day or Monday or whatever. But the warm-up, it was a little different than what we do here, because it involved core and strength, that type of stuff. And then we went into some technical. For the assistants, it was the Curta test. But the Curta test, it was modified so that you're still paying attention. So you had to have the flag, and then, like for the Curta, you just run whenever you're ready, and then it starts timing. That's not what it was. It was one of the instructors was behind you with a ball. Whenever the ball hit the ground, you go. There was another instructor way on the other side of the field with two cards signaling offside or foul, and you had to be paying attention to see which one he put up to signal, and then keep going. So that was one part of it. And then when we collaborated with the referees, we was running to be in line with the referees, and whenever the whistle went, you had to stop, and whoever wasn't in line got extras.
How many times you got extras?
I didn't get no extras. So, the second part was actually really different because I've never seen nobody do that before. I know, obviously, it's another exercise where you have to keep in line with the ball going down, but you have to keep in line with the referee, which normally referee is her, ball's her, you're there. So it was definitely a different way. I think we could probably try it her.
What was the purpose of that exercise? Because you're right, you usually have the referee behind play, you're in line with play, and the ball's kind of in the middle. So what was the purpose of that particular drill?
To concentrate and to make sure that you're right on. Like, you can't be even a yard here or a yard there. You know what I mean? So it was just basically a concentration and to keep level with the second last opponent.
Now, how do you maintain what you've been going through prior to going to Jamaica, now being in Jamaica, and you come back and you're getting ready for another big adventure in a matter of months? So how are you planning to make sure you maintain fitness level, concentration level, and all the other things that's going to go along with you being prepared for your next international venture?
Well, for this week, I think because during the game on Sunday, I got a little niggle. I think I stepped in like a grade or something that was just off the field. So I think this week I'm gonna take a rest, start back up training on Monday. So on Monday, obviously it's recovery right after the game. That will be on Sunday, and then keep the intensity level at where it was out there, so that whenever I do get called, I'm ready for it, and whenever it's a fitness test, I'm ready for it as well.
Is that kind of hard, being that you be on your own, or do you have to find ways to motivate yourself to stay at that level?
Not really, because Antoine's been coming, and Lyndon comes and make sure that I keep the tempo high with Antoine, because obviously we're trying to get Antoine there too. So we're both pushing each other. We're pushing each other in different areas, obviously, because we both have two different weaknesses. And as long as we both are pushing each other to go further, then we should be there.
Now, we all know there are some youngsters knocking on the door. Obviously, there's a few years before they can actually get to this level. But what sort of messages would you be sending them or telling them what to expect in a few years' time, and how they can possibly be prepared for that next step?
I would actually tell them that Jamaica is just a piece of the cake. You know what I mean? Going to Jamaica is just a piece of the cake. You know what I mean? Every referee, whether they got on the FIFA list or not, wants to go to the World Cup. So obviously that's the ultimate goal. And then once you get to one, you want to go to more. So it's just, you just have to keep striving, and once you get to a level where you're on the list, opportunities come to you, So you keep going, some opportunity will come up eventually.
All right, well, we want to say congratulations, good luck, and we'll keep an eye on the progress you're going to be making over the next year, because it's a long year, and it's going to be a busy one for you.
Yes, it is. Any second month. so we've got a lot to go through.
Okay, all right. Well, congratulations, boss.
Thanks, man.
Cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, man. Well, Shaun Williams, the second vice president of the Bermuda Football Association, and also the chairman of referees, just back from Jamaica. If you had to, well, obviously you would have gotten some assessment from Victor and the like. What was the marks given for Shaun's performance over the two matches and the training sessions?
Actually, the assessment, no, I have not received that as yet. It has to be sent to us, but I did sit in on the post-match comments from the assessor, and basically his marks are very good. He didn't give him marks out of 10. He just told him that he has the basics, he did well. They only told him that in terms of being on the line, he's a little more aggressive in his turn. They told him he also needs to develop a game face, they call it. Because, Shaun's rather shy, and he always smiles and doesn't look serious. So they just told him he needs to develop a game face, but they're very pleased with him. Extremely pleased.
Now, you have some history in Jamaica, obviously grew up there, going to school there, and you could expect, or you knew what to expect as far as crowds and some of the things that were going to be shouted out and so forth. But how do you think he handled those issues as they came about?
Well, the first game, the Honored Gardens versus Humble Lions, he was on the bench side, he was on the far side, so he didn't have very much to do. I think he might have had to make two calls. One was offside and the other one's for a foul. So that game was pretty easy. The second game, however, the Tivoli Gardens versus Cavaliers, he was right on the bench side. So that's when he got a taste of what it was really about. And yeah, the crowd lets you know if they don't agree with your calls. That's all I'm gonna say. They let you know.
So looking at it overall, how do you think, looking at it from, as you've been the chairman of referees here for a while now, how do you assess his performances?
He handled it well. He acquitted himself, definitely represented Bermuda and the association definitely very, very well. The referees, they were very receptive. When we went to the training on the Saturday, we left the hotel at 6. They got to Juvie about 6:45, 7 o'clock. They started training at 7:30 and they didn't finish until 2. They trained for basically almost 2 hours on physical under Mr. Thorburn, which to me was just totally amazing. Rohan, all I can say is a job well done. And then the technical was Mr. Stewart, Dave Meikle, and a couple other gentlemen. I can't recall their names. But he fitted in very well. And everybody, like I said, was very, very receptive and accommodating. I wish we could have training sessions like that here in Bermuda. I will say that first and foremost. And the thing about it for me that stood out was that you have people that traveled from all parts of Jamaica leave. I remember one gentleman saying he left home at 3 o'clock in the morning to make this training session. There was no grumbling, no arguing, and they were like a team. They just blended in, and he just fit in as if he belonged there.
Now, because I was following you online, you were talking about that training session and the length of it and what they were doing. Is there any way, I guess, there's a lot of sports now doing train the trainer and train the coaches and so forth, and obviously there'll be a train the referee. Any possibility of our trainers going to a session of that nature, taking in that information, and then trying to convince the local side that this is what needs to be done in order for you, one, to improve your fitness, to better the game. Let the clubs sort of sort out the players, but if the referees are up to par as far as fitness and up with the laws of the game and up with the game, it makes it that much more easier.
I would say yes, anything's possible. Mr. Stewart and Rohan, they did come here in December and they had a instructors course for my fitness instructors. However, I did mention it to them that, this would be a good opportunity or idea. So they let me know that when they have their MA course, which I was in April, and they have theirs, will probably be either August or September, that if we wanted to, we could send our instructors down to participate. So that, yes, that idea was already floated about in Jamaica, and they're very receptive to it.
Now, where do we go from here? Obviously, Shaun has some international duties he has to take care of in the coming months, but where do we go from here? How does this set him up for the task at hand?
I think we managed to remove him from his comfort zone. As we know, our games are not as fast-paced as Jamaica. And the other thing I also saw that was very crucial was that they have ball boys at all the Premier League matches. So the referees and the AR don't have a chance to reset. You have to be on your toes at all times. So that, I think, was a shift for him. And also because the players, I would say a little fitter than what I saw here in Bermuda, that he had to keep up the play and concentrate. And for him, you had the music going when it was, let's say, a stoppage in play, the music going, the fans shouting. So all that, he had to really, really concentrate. So
when you look at the fact that the match was seen on Sunday on Sportsmax, obviously proud because we love to see our Bermudians anywhere globally, but special moment for the Bermuda Football Association and you yourself?
Yes, it was definitely a special moment because actually I didn't realize where I was sitting in the stands. I was sitting next to former Prime Minister Edward Seaga, and they came to interview him. So somehow I was seen on Sportsmax unbeknownst to me, and I got a phone call from my wife saying, "Hey, we see you on TV, so wave." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" So, and then other people saw Shaun on the game, and they posted on Facebook. So yeah, for me, it's, as I told him, I said to Shaun, whether you like it or not, you're going to be the poster boy for refereeing in Bermuda for a while. Because I'm sure all the youngsters probably looking and saying, "Hey, I know him, I seen him, and there he is right now on TV doing a premiership match in Jamaica." So anything's possible.
Now, I know you've been working behind the scenes on making this more of a reality with a partnership or a relationship with other countries. How are we developing in that regard?
At this time right now, Jamaica's definitely interested in doing it. Canada and the USA, because they're trying to host, they submitted bids to host the World Cup. That right now, that's at a standstill. They can't do any form of new arrangements until that's been confirmed or not confirmed. We've also reached out to Ipswich Town in England, which I'm waiting to hear back from, because they would like to have some of our youth referees, possibly even some of the seniors, travel there to officiate as well. So, yes, we're working hard to make some things a reality.
All right, well, please keep us posted on the developments of refereeing in Bermuda, and job well done thus far. But hey, the work has only begun.
Yes, the work has only begun, and we're hopeful that next year we have another person for the list. That's the aim.
All right, cool. Have a good night from the Referees Corner right here on Islandstats.com.